baby beard.
Waited for you, Fry.
This episode traumatized me as a young person.
My head is hurting again.
Where's my firstborn son?
God does not care about me masturbating.
Your singing is bad and you should feel bad.
First get out into the bus, so you're like, oh no!
Yeah. I don't like myself becoming the protagonist of this podcast.
You've been in
because you haven't learned anything.
Alright, shut up and take my podcast.
That's actually a new one. Like it's
Yeah, I think so.
Oh no!
I'm
oh,
not
gee.
entirely sure that it is.
Maybe done a similar one.
I'm fairly sure maybe. I don't know.
I think I
How
did
many
a
have we
Jerry
done now?
Lewis once, which
Does
is kind of adjacent to this.
It's very
This
Kermit.
is kind of a Kermit.
the Frog.
Or I was
Kermit
thinking
the Frog.
to do a Futurama reference. It's Fry's
Yenis? Nope.
Yenis?
Enos.
Yeezy Fry.
You know Fry's grandfather, Kanye West.
Yes. I know him well.
He has a lot of dragon energy around him.
Kanye Fry. God, we are not drunk here. I'm in a really weird mood.
Yeah.
We can tell.
Look at my hands. This is where I've decided I'm going to be.
Okay.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah.
Leave them there because the time lapse can actually pick this up right now if you leave it long enough.
And speaking of where we are,
we're
here.
Shut up and
take my-
wait, is that what you wanted? Is that what you wanted me to do?
Steal the
Are you
intro.
going to no, fuck you. Do you want to take it?
I'm sure.
Go for it.
Let's do it. Come on.
So welcome to Shut Up and Take My Podcast, the Futurama podcast that pits episode against episode in a bloody glorious gauntlet battle for your entertainment.
You look so nervous.
As always, I am joined here by Ellen.
Is my eye playing trick on me?
I'm also joined by Sean.
English!
And we're joined here by
Phil!
What just happened?
I would also say,
How
Phil,
did you do that?
What just happened?
can I also please introduce you to, from the Simpsons Index, Elliot and BT. Hello.
Are you kidding me?
Hey there.
Hello.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Hi, guys.
Oh my god! Hi!
Hey, Ellen.
Cheeky, sneaky.
I'm
Hey, Phil.
so
Hey,
sorry. I feel like and the camera's here. And the
Well, my line was fish on Friday, human flesh the rest of the week.
wow.
So, just as a to peel back the curtain, I'll just show you guys here on the computer.
I'm very.
Here's the Skype conversation.
Oh, hello.
That so for both you guys and for everyone at home, joining us on the podcast today is from our friends from the Simpsons Index Podcast is Elliot and someone that we have not met before, but he's a fellow indexer, BT. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're good. I'm just a voice on the radio waves as far as you know.
Oh.
Yeah,
Very
Elliot, do you want
ethereal being.
You could be an AI.
That's the accusation.
Are you
Prove me wrong,
played
kids.
by Scarlett Johansson?
I mean, I haven't seen that movie. I don't know.
I was going to go for a Titanfall 2 reference. BT being a sentient robot guy.
The Watchers TV.
Elliot, do you want to explain to the masses, you came to me with this proposition, did you not?
Yes. I absolutely love this episode that we're reviewing today, Reincarnation. I'm a big fan of all the anthology episodes, Anthology of Interest, of course, and then on my own podcast, The Simpsons Index, Treehouse of Horrors are some of my favorite. I do love this deviation from the formula, so I noticed that, you guys had this one coming up, and I was like, oh, pretty please, let me and BT crash the review for this one.
Oh,
Crash we did.
right, okay.
Crash being the operative word, since someone did not tell us. I'm literally I'm breathless right now. This is so exciting.
Well, I for a couple of days, I forgot to tell you guys that I had accepted the offer. And then after that, I was chatting to Elliot. I'm like, you know what? Let's just roll with it. So they've been listening for the past 26 minutes.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Thanks
We
for
know
staying.
all your secrets.
So sorry about that, you guys.
Listening to me talk about random ice cream flavors?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
So basically, when I came into the when I was coming to the room, going, "You haven't brought your headphones." That's letting them know that if they're.
Oh, right, yeah.
Wow.
Yep, we caught you loud and clear on that one.
Oh yeah.
Goodness, you had code words and everything.
Right, and
This is
And by the
cool.
way, we actually went to that ice cream store with pods in the Kia Springfield last time.
did too.
Yeah, we were in Adelaide. I got like an apple crumble
Yeah,
and it was delicious.
Bloody smashing, yeah.
Lovely.
It's the best ice cream bar. It's amazing.
To understand the context for that, maybe jump to the end of this episode and might be
Go
there.
to the outtakes, yeah.
So, guys, what are we doing here? Well, we are doing episode... Fuck me, I'm my own format. Season 6, episode 26, which is Reincarnation, which just means what the fucking word means. Born again.
Yeah, it's not really a pun this time, is it?
No. But it is the final episode of this season, guys.
Gosh.
Wow.
Golly
Time
gosh.
flies.
So this is season... Sorry, what?
6.
Six.
Yes.
And we've got how many to go?
One more.
One more.
One-
Wow.
It's another long season, but yeah.
Yeah, another 26 episodes, I'm pretty sure. I've got the stuff in front of me. I should just check. But I
And
won't.
then we'll be bereft. We'll have nothing to do.
No,
Oh my
right?
God.
Half a year of content, and then bye.
We're done.
Gosh.
So long, baby beard.
Sorry, guys.
I mean, it's not a problem you guys have. There will always be more Simpsons.
Well, no,
We'll be doing the Simpsons Index till the day we die.
Oh my gosh.
Or until you die and I just become a sentient being on the wind.
Elliot, didn't you say? Oh, and we should probably, we've
Reintroduce these guys.
yeah, we should introduce you much better, Elliot. Can I tell you about your own podcast?
Please. I'm eager to find out.
Yeah, I'd like to hear it.
Yeah. So you can join Elliot and BT on the Simpsons Index, the Simpsons spreadsheet that is also a podcast.
Fantastic.
Yeah. If you go back through the back catalogue, you might find a little guest appearance.
Or two.
One or two baby beards.
Oh.
But
Yeah,
you wanna,
that's right. These three joined me for Simpsons Index episode 123 when we reviewed a couple of episodes that had passing glimpses of Bender in it, and also Lisa's wedding, the Future Jump episode, because Futurama, get it?
Yep.
And the fans always talk about that one. They just keep demanding more.
do you have the spreadsheet in front of you? How did you just get 1, 2, 3? Do you just know all your numbers?
Yep. No, he does that. I was watching it. It's creepy.
He
In an
knows,
impressive way.
he knows the numbers 1, 2, and 3.
Oh,
What a guy.
together.
What a guy.
Also, I'm curious, Elliot, did you put this together intentionally for this date?
For today's date?
Yeah, for the beginning of Fry July.
Oh, that's right.
Oh.
That's right, Fry
Fry
July, the
July.
only month of the year where you must watch Futurama, drink 100 cups of coffee, fall in love with a Cyclops, and exist.
Wait, hang on. Have I got the whole month to do this? Or do I have to do this like every
day.
day of the month?
Whatever.
I mean,
Who came up with this? Who runs this?
BT.
Oh, okay. I will report directly to you
Yeah.
then, BT.
Excellent, because every year I'm the only person hashtag Fry July, but every year it's all the same. Yeah.
I did actually go on Instagram and I did search the hashtag and they were just all from you. And I'm like,
I know
It's good to
my
be the
fan
king of
base.
yeah. So, we will endeavor to begin. You told me to do this last year and I haven't done it yet. So Fry July, I will start hashtagging and I will get it
Yes.
done.
We all
Okay, well,
will.
I had 2 cups of coffee today, so I'm started.
98 more to go.
Yeah.
I think I've had 3 and one was a double shot.
Okay,
Does that
counts.
count as 2 cups of coffee? Or
I mean, I would throw to you guys because you're the Futurama experts. However, he does count both a regular-sized cup and a full whale-sized cup as being one coffee.
yeah.
So.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
3. I've had 3 cups. You measure
Yeah.
it by the cup
The
and
cup.
not the content.
Regardless of what the cup is, the cup is a cup.
have these single drops of coffee.
Thimble of coffee, please.
That sounds very hipstery. I'm just having a deconstruction.
Just sugar thrown at you.
Right, tell us more about this episode,
Oh,
Sean.
absolutely, Philip. The director for this episode is Peter Avancino, for friend of the show. I love that. Because I haven't, once again, I'm nothing if not honest. I didn't do the extra fact. So
Wonderful. So he's just our friend, and that's a fact.
Yeah, Peter Avancino is a friend.
Yes.
And he's currently hell-bent on getting season 2 of Disenchantment up and running. I think they're right into it at the moment, actually.
Yeah.
So, I was having a chat with Josh. And he was saying they're in the middle of, I think they're just in the middle of getting episode after episode down.
Well,
So,
even when we
think of
last
it.
talked to anyone on the Disenchantment team, it seemed like it was kind of like, oh, yeah, and we're in back tomorrow, and we're going to do more kind of we're back in tomorrow and back at the office, and it seemed like, oh, okay, you guys are like
You're
really pushing this out.
Animation's pretty intensive. So.
You guys
Right.
have a work ethic. What's that like? Wow.
The writer for the episode is Aaron. He has, once again,
Fantastic.
Elliot and BT. I don't know if how would you pronounce this word? EHASZ.
EHASZ.
Yes, or Z for Australian listeners.
Brannigan?
It feels like the onomatopoeia for a sneeze.
It has.
So if you're listening, Aaron, we're sorry.
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 We would love to have you on the podcast.
And the air date for this episode is September 8th, 2011, and reintroducing, because it is him, Stephen Hawking.
Oh,
it's really him.
Oh, yeah.
The Hawk.
The Hawkman.
Nice.
The original Hawkman.
Yeah.
I feel it's his third
second or third,
Yeah, he's a friend of the show, friend of Futurama.
Simpsons as well. I feel like anytime he's in an animated show, it's generally him lending his voice.
What did he give up physics in this episode to become?
A voice actor, wasn't
A
it?
voice actor.
Cartoon
That's right.
voice
A
actor.
cartoon voice actor. Yeah.
Okay, so the way we're going to run through this is, very, very quickly. What's the overarching plot, Mr. Philman?
Me.
You.
The overarching plot is that this showcases Futurama in 3 new animation styles. Not new to the show, I guess. So there's old-timey, kind of early Walt Disney era animation.
Like golden era.
Golden era of Disney. There is an 8-bit video game style, and the final section is...
Yes!
Imported Saturday morning cartoons.
Yes, there's nothing better.
It was very, very funny, that third anime version. Yeah, and they each have their own individual plots that very vaguely connect together through the use of a comet, a diamond comet. That's the general. That's the gist.
Just in general, I'm so happy with this episode.
So fun.
I knew you'd like it, Sean.
Oh, I was just in I threw my book away halfway through
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
because
It gets so hard to keep up with the notes, yeah.
I just couldn't. I was like, nope.
Yeah,
I'm going to enjoy this.
Yeah, that's literally Sean just kind of like went and just like chucked his book on the chair next to me, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And then I actually grabbed it again about 10 seconds later because I did want to write down one note.
Yeah, but only the one. You put it back down again, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I just wrote down the death tally.
Aha! Wonderful,
Which
wonderful.
I'll get into right now. I'm counting it because there's no way that 10-year-old boy is coming back from this. Cubit.
Ooh,
Cubit
yeah.
dead.
Yeah, he
But
was very stabbed.
Hang on. So if we're counting that as a death, are we not to count all the deaths that Fry experienced in his several attempts to break up the Diamondium
I feel
in
we have
his
to.
20s era
Yes.
animation style?
So he shattered into a million pieces,
Yep, his helmet broke and his head exploded from the pressure.
and his
yes.
arms came off,
His arms exploded.
and
yes.
his bones were there, so he probably died from shock.
Oh, that's right. That was from the whole mushroom jelly thing.
Yes.
Well, I tried to look that up.
It's a spinach, Popeye spinach.
Yeah,
thing.
I get the joke, but why did they use mushroom jelly?
I don't know.
I'm pointing this at you.
So they could do the little mushroom muscles thing.
Elliot, BT, why did they do this? You must know. You're mushroom experts.
Science.
Yeah.
Because science.
I've heard that you guys are... oh, shit. I've heard that you're a couple of fun guys.
Oh,
Anyway, let's all
Pun
move
game
on.
is strong with this one. All right.
Oh my ecology.
so
So I do quickly want to ask, are you going to count the literal billions of deaths when the Earth gets covered in diamondium powder?
let's do it.
Yes. So billions.
Everybody
So-
dies.
And also Rockefeller Plaza. Surely there were people in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole of like Idaho or something.
Omaha.
Omaha, yeah.
Omaha.
At least it wasn't New
Nebraska.
Jersey this time. Like someone else gets shit on.
I'm fairly sure New Jersey bit the dust as well. I'm not sure. But a lot of people did die, definitely, in
Yes.
this episode, just in different animated ways. So you kind of know that they're coming back the next episode with no repercussions.
No. And who was with Cubit? Like Cubit just it was a
It's a
It was like
puppy.
a dog.
Wasn't it a dog?
Yeah, it was like a Pluto.
Yeah,
That was a
kind of
seal.
thing.
oh the seal, that's
Ah.
right.
That was the custard time seal.
The what?
It's custard time.
Do I?
Hooray!
Yay!
Custard time!
Okay, no one is going to any more effort to explain this to me. They just keep saying yay.
It's custard time.
Oh my god!
What
is
else
to
is there
explain?
to discuss? It's custard time.
Yeah, I'm with you guys.
Y'all suck.
So, Elliot and BT, for better or for worse, what is one thing that stood out to you in this episode?
That is a very good question.
Man, I'm going to field first. I really like the fact that it starts with what I've dubbed God Galaxy, the galaxy/God, the satellite that collided with God. Because it's kind of a weird way of suggesting how this even comes about. This is just parallel universes conjured by a bored deity. We've all been there.
Now, is that God 1 or God 2?
Even combined, they could not split the Dimundium, so who knows, man? Who knows?
And you, Mr. Elliot? Sorry, BT?
No, I was just gonna ramble to give Elliot some more time to think, but I feel like I have done that now.
Yeah, look, I think the thing that stands out to me is like the effort that they went to connect all three of the stories. Like, I think you were right, Phil. It's sort of, pretty tenuous, with the whole comet and diamond thing, but I appreciate that they went to the effort to do that. And the really cool thing about it to me is that in each of the segments, like, they're really highlighting the limits of those animations as well as, doing a faithful reproduction of them. But the whole joke is that, like, in each one, the limits of those animations prevent us, the audience, from seeing the beautiful things that they're seeing.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
the
a
extra
great
colour.
gag.
Yeah.
It's a great gag.
the dance in the anime, because it's moving too fast for you to see.
There's a new color,
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
that we could
Yeah.
possibly never kind of imagine.
You can't see the one law that binds everything together because
Yes.
it's in 8-bit.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just a
beautiful,
pixel.
beautiful
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah, it's a good little fuck you to the audience.
And isn't Futurama great for those fuck you audience? I love you, but fuck you moments.
And
Yeah.
Sean was bouncing up and down, reproducing the joke of. I love this time of the evening. There's such
Yeah.
a wonderful stillness.
Which
Yeah.
for us means we have to do this.
Yeah,
Like,
we have
need
to
to
lift the
move
microphone
the
up
mic
and down.
up and
Up and
down, like they do with the telescope for Leela.
Directional mics.
Is it worth mentioning, kind of like with all these different styles, they are all very visually different? And sometimes that affects the characters, and sometimes their design, and
Why are you
sometimes the
speaking like
things
that?
that they're wearing.
You're like a
Wink.
a puppy.
Is it worth mentioning that?
Yeah, go on. Do your
All right,
fashion
so we're gonna
winky
do
corner.
fashion corner with Ellen.
Wink.
Wink.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
If there's one thing that you have to learn is Elliot knows this podcast better than we do.
I feel so blessed, Elliot. Please feel free, anyone, to chuck in like little fashion elements that you quite like. So I'm just going to say, with the 20s animation or the golden era kind of animation, that brings out all the kind of tricks of the trade, the style elements very common to that. So all the women kind of have visible bloomers and skirts, polka dots, bows. Everyone has kind of big gloves, like Mickey Mouse gloves, the same. And Bender has
classic.
a sporty pair of Mickey Mouse overalls.
Yes.
Yeah, I love Bender's overalls.
Yeah, it's very fun. Also, all the everything is anthropomorphic. So the ship is anthropomorphic.
The sun.
It's got one of my favorite animation gags, which is if it's a speaker, it's actually a mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Like a mouth moves through the radio.
Everything is mouths.
It's
Yeah.
quite fun. Quite fun.
And it feeds on human flesh.
Gotta feed it something.
Yeah, exactly.
Every day except Friday.
That's that's true. There is a cost to everything.
And even Leela's hand is anthropomorphized.
Yes,
Oh,
each,
yeah.
each
That's
finger has
terrifying
its own
beyond
little
words.
face and personality. That's pretty
Creepy, yes. Agree.
I don't have too much in terms of like fashion for the 8-bit stuff, apart from obviously it's 8-bit. They have recreated all the characters' fashion, but in the kind of like crude 8-bit color designs.
I like how, they handle the different characters sitting and
Yep.
you get to see the different kind of ways they use the sprites. That's pretty fun. And there's a really cool shot of the professor where he fills the whole screen.
Yes, it's just him talking. It's just his face.
Yeah. It's really disturbing, but really well done. I really like that.
Actually, Bender fashion in that 8-bit moment as well. Bender had his wireframe model in
he
that
does
one
too,
when he was
Body
doing
blow.
the punch out.
Body blow.
That's true.
He also swears like Cubit. Cubit the video game, not Cubit the character.
right.
Yeah, like the. Yeah. So Anime Fry is hot. No one told me about this.
You are unprepared.
Not sure what to do with this information. Although it is Fry July, so I guess I can do whatever the fuck
Just
I want.
embrace it and go with it.
Thank you. We get
You
to
can
see.
be a Frisbean.
Thank you. I'm a fry-sexual. So we get to see all their irises, which
Oh, I've
have
always wanted to
colour.
see some iris.
Oh, right, yeah.
So Fry
Interesting.
has brown eyes, Leela has blue, Amy purple. I wasn't able to see some of the others. I'm fairly sure Zoidberg's still black.
And the professor's wearing
And the
sunglasses.
professor has a great style about him. So he's got really high collar. I'm fairly sure. No, it is a jacket. It's a very long coat that he's wearing. He has a lime green cravat.
With a nice pin in the middle.
Yep. And those blackout anime sunglasses.
My
Yeah, I was
God,
gonna-
and
if
his
you didn't
voice.
mention the professor's clothing, I was going to. 'Cause my God.
Yeah, I'm a huge fucking fan. Amy is in like a Sailor Senshi outfit. It's basically like if you think of Sailor Moon, but in kind of like a lilac purple, very cute. Leela in her transformation sequence, so she's in this kind of blue body-fitting morph suit that then has a skirt slapped over the top. It's like a dark blue tartan, and then it has a drawstring to become a mini skirt.
Yes.
Wonderful,
unnecessary, but
wonderful.
but
I
great.
bet it's purely for those upskirt panty shots that we love in anime.
I was about to say disagree. I think it was entirely necessity.
And the dance squad suit. So when Bender and Fry form to
Oh,
become
yeah.
a
The red
dance squad,
jumpsuits?
so it's a
Yeah.
red
Yeah.
jumpsuit with a white stripe right down the side,
They
and
go
like,
faster.
holy shit. Anime Fry's really hot.
I
I can't.
I love Super Merchandise Robot as well. He's so good.
Yes.
All the extra little details
Yeah.
and crests
Yeah.
and all the very Gundam-esque, like, angular
Yeah.
accents above his eyes. And then when he transforms, when, like, Fry climbs inside him, and he just transforms into, like, a slightly larger version of himself.
And Fry's just in the
That's-
chest cavity. It's
just
very
makes-
cute.
Trying to get
It made me
changed.
crack up so
Oh,
much.
and
So
Hermes.
unnecessary and awesome.
Hermes in his transformation sequence, so his desk becomes a kind of samurai-esque armor.
Yes,
That
yes,
is
it's very
very cool, yeah.
And then he jumps in a helicopter, flies 2 feet, and then goes back to his
It's
desk
all
work.
wonderfully redundant, and that's the best part
Always
about
the
anime.
bureaucrat.
Now, Elliot and BT, did this episode give you the bumps? I'm remembering the index format as best I can at this point.
Pinching some questions from my show. It's not sort of going for it, I guess. It's not really going for the heart and the bumps.
First part is. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The first segment where...
I'm sorry to cut you off then.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, where Fry's, once again trying to win over Leela. But, this was very cute and wholesome and stuff. Yeah.
Except for all those
Deaths.
and the like Leela gets really naughty in the second one.
Oh,
She does.
no means no.
Smutty Leela.
I also have a few things against wholesomeness. I'm sorry, but the whole joke about Fry getting Leela pregnant.
Does he get Amy pregnant?
He tried to.
Yeah, but they're saying I don't know how to, keep her
It was
around.
another time.
And Bender goes, "Have you tried getting her pregnant?"
Yes.
And
He's like, "I've tried."
I have. And I'm like, "Oh fuck, I don't want this at all. Really don't want this in
was
this show, guys."
Reverse bumps on that one.
Reverse. They gave us
Dimples.
dumps,
Give
dumps
us
instead of bumps.
Yeah, he didn't really have much going for him as well. Also, I have bad posture and financial problems.
Don't we all?
Oh, hey, there's another bumpy bit, I think. It's still a gag, but when Farnsworth has discovered the unifying theory of the universe, he then gets really sad because there's nothing else to discover. And that whole sequence, yes, it has a ton of like video game gags and a sadness bar. But I get it. I understand. He's upset. His life's quest
He wept
is over.
there were no more worlds left to conquer.
Exactly.
I really like that. Yeah, because I mean,
it's touching.
you all.
Just like Alexander the Kid.
But when there's
Excellent work.
when you finish doing something, you know, if it's kind of a pursuit of knowledge, and you kind of get to the end, and you know that it's kind of the end.
Yeah, I
it's
really
a
wish
bit
I knew what that was
sad
like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
when you get to the end of
yeah,
something.
we actually follow through and finish. Yeah.
Well, personal knowledge is hopeless and eternal.
Okay. Yes. Yay!
Yes, it'll take dump trucks of flaming grant money to figure it out.
Yes, such a good line.
But Elliot and BT, most importantly, did this feel like a Futurama episode?
You've even got the cadence. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of...
Such
it's
a
interesting
weird
that
fucking
Futurama
episode to
ditched
ask
the
these
whole
things.
anthology of interest format to, as in the Comedy Central era, to go for, you know, last time you did the Christmas special one, and then later on they've got like one that's formatted like a nature documentary. I think in that sense, yeah, they're not carrying on the tradition of their anthology of interest, but in that, I think it actually allowed them to branch out and try something completely different.
Yeah, and I think they nailed it. It's hilarious, it's cute as hell, and it's just a lot of fun. I mean, this could have been something that got funky, but this got funky.
Hey!
I definitely agree with that, and I think what makes it feel still very Futurama-y is a combination of the characters and the writing's still very on point and still very much in the vein. Science jokes, just dumb silliness.
Yeah.
The overall tone being really, really silly is something Futurama does really well.
Yeah.
And there's fun with animation.
Yeah.
Which is some of my favourite things in Futurama is when they get funky
And
with the animation.
It uses the story and the animation and the story are working in tandem.
Yes.
All the jokes
Yeah.
kind of derive from what's happening on screen.
The style, like how, like even just simple jokes like Zoidberg talking, but his mouth is no longer moving right near the end. Like just little jokes that clearly they've taken the time to go, where is a joke we can put here and how does it go in service of the plot, but also the style that we're working in.
Yeah. How do we translate it into the new style? And you still get all the same jokes as ever. Everyone's kind of making fun of Zoidberg, only now it's, Zoidberg a diplomat? The list of things I have heard of is complete.
Or like when they're first everyone trying to get to the table in the 8-bit version, and Hermes and Zoidberg just walk into each other, and neither of them are moving. for,
Zoidberg
like,
has to jump over him. That's right. Yeah.
Oh, actually, there was another death when they get back to work and they do Dig Dug for a job, apparently. And I think...
Someone's got to.
Yeah, and Bender just explodes Zoidberg.
That's right.
Just zaps
Oh,
him.
yeah.
That's right.
Someone's got to.
Whoops. Totally forgot about that.
There you go. So actual visible seeable death tally includes Cubit and Zoidberg.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and I think this really does feel like a Futurama in that each one of the stories is actually falling back on a Futurama story trope, you know. You got a Fry Leela love story, the professor searching for some science, whatever, and then, you know, Zoidberg trying to prove that he's not useless.
That he's not a Zoidberg, yeah.
And a kind of silly extraterrestrial threat as well is like quite part of the course.
Ugh,
But-
that noise.
Oh, wish you wouldn't. Really wish you wouldn't.
There's
how
no
cool
reason
is
they
the
fly
epic
banana
space-
ships, is there?
No, they're not.
So that they become, it's so they can become the clapping cymbal monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe?
I guess.
Not even that.
Even that has no reason.
It's kind of reverse engineering from an already pointless gag.
Yeah, I was sitting there going, this banana's got to mean something, right? Nope.
Why
okay,
does
that's fine.
anything happen in anime, Phil?
Oh, God knows. Yeah.
God doesn't know.
No,
God 2 does.
God laughs.
I don't watch a lot of anime.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
But like we all watched Western import anime, and I feel
I
like
guess,
that's
yeah.
a very specific brand here that they're kind of going for.
Haha.
Where it's like it's been heavily edited,
Badly dubbed.
badly dubbed. They've done the weird Western translations, which if any of y'all are big Sailor Moon fans, when I was watching it as a kid, for the longest time I thought Sailor Neptune and Uranus were cousins.
No.
Yep.
Cousins.
No.
Nope.
No.
They're gay.
Yeah.
They're
Can't
gay?
have that.
very gay.
They gay.
And not related. Thank
can't-
goodness.
Can't have that on a Western TV show.
Yeah, and it was
God,
so
no.
weird because they tried to, like, when Uranus is, like, dressed up in just normal... Really? When she's just, like, in her normal clothes, not her Sailor Senshi clothes, like, she dresses quite tomboyish. And so in the Western dub, they tried to write it off as in that is a male character. And it's a big clusterfuck.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, none of it makes any sense. And they're like, ooh, who's that boy that Neptune is kissing?
There's the thing I really love about this is it's dense. It's dense with jokes and humor. Like there doesn't really feel like a wasted moment in this at all.
It sets a
Because
cracking pace.
if there's not like a comedy line, there's a visual gag or something else is going on just constantly. I couldn't keep up at all.
There was even a bit where it was in the golden era animation, and Sean quickly turned to me and went, "Did you see Nibbler?" And it was kind of like Nibbler
Yes.
as a little baby crawling past on the
Yeah.
window.
Precariously on the ledge.
Yeah.
The thing that tickled me, I couldn't tell you why, was a can of holograms in sauce. I just thought it was fucking hilarious.
Just reminds me of that Captain America line where it's like, and the food's so much better now. You know, back in the day, we just boiled everything.
What about for you guys? Any other big moments that kind of stood out for you?
Flying bananas, I'll chop them up and put them on my morning fish porridge.
You and I are enemies now.
Yes.
Especially with the English dub thing, you know, these buildings that are just obvious Japanese architecture that they're like Madison Square Garden,
Does anyone
Central Park.
Does anyone play Ace Attorney?
I've watched my friend play it for about 20 minutes.
Okay, it's delightful, but I also love the bit where Maya loves food and she always goes, "Yeah, and I'd love a nice hamburger." It's like, that's not what you're eating. Or like when people in anime are eating rice cakes, it's like,
Yeah.
Donuts.
this delicious
Yeah.
donut. It's
This
like,
taco is so good.
what the fuck? It's not what you're putting in your mouth.
Do you guys watch Binging with Bobbish at all, a YouTube channel?
No.
It's a guy and he tries to like recreate food that he's seen on TV. And for like he's done like that out of this world moon waffle from The Simpsons,
Yeah.
and he recently did the purple rolls in Steven Universe that Lars makes.
Oh, I forget.
Ubi?
It's like a purple yam.
Yeah,
Like it's
that's
a
right.
Filipino food. Oh my god, I'm so fucking psyched for that.
Don't worry.
It's a
Elliot,
very cool channel. Anyway, one episode that he did a Pokemon special where he did both the English and the Japanese. So he tried to like recreate those the rice cakes as a donut and also, you know, the traditional Japanese food. It was excellent.
Amazing.
well, Ellen has written that down, the name, I
Yeah.
believe. So at least one of us will be binging that.
I was a big fan of "That's all you get, jerks." It's just such a nice way to finish that little vignette.
I mean, you
absolutely.
should just do it anytime.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that at work when people, instead of like, "Oh, would you like your receipt?" Just be like, "That's all you get, jerks."
It's a good exit line, yeah.
The crystal animation in the
gonna say.
first story is fucking gorgeous.
When Fry
It's-
lands and it's that blend
and it's
of...
not.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not. Is it a blend of 3D or
It
is it
looks
just
like it.
amazing 2D?
Yeah.
I think it's 3D.
I think there's a touch of 3D in
it
there.
is
Yeah, it's great.
Gorgeous.
Super
Like you see the reflection of Fry in the crystal below. It's just stunning.
You're a fan, BT?
Oh, absolutely. Especially because he was only there looking for anarchists. But just looked amazing.
And taking a dump.
A man can sneak away for two reasons.
Things only rhyme at 10 to the minus 5 angstroms.
Yeah. Oh my God, that whole snail and the tail of the frog and
Yeah.
the log at the bottom of the sea.
Yeah.
Dear Liza.
Well, a really great detail I liked is just to get up to that machine, he takes a very Donkey Kong route. And I loved it.
Yeah.
Again, it's just a quick, doesn't draw attention to it, and it's just really funny.
And
And
you can see the little spark going around. You're like, oh, I hope it doesn't
Yeah.
touch it.
Yeah.
Oh, he'll lose a life.
And there's some
Just
Mario.
jump.
There's some Mario clouds floating around in the background as well, like very Yoshi's Island looking clouds.
This is just an entire episode where, like, it's so clear that the writers had a fuck ton of fun writing it, and the animators had a fuck ton of fun animating it. They're just both going, like, clearly you can imagine that room and like, okay, and then they'll do this, and the animators getting go, yeah, fuck yeah, we can do this. Yeah, what if we add that? And the writers are like, yeah, okay, let's do it, yeah. It's just so
they
much
really
love.
did go all out.
I was saying to Ellen, like, I want all three of those as their own show.
Oh, yeah. Why wasn't the anime one like just that?
Just all the hot fry you can handle.
Oh, too much.
I have to do a final shout out to Scruffy's one contribution to this episode as well, which is just such a good contribution. Where they're all looking at the pixel that represents the fundamental building block of the universe. And he says, it's like looking into a mirror into Scruffy's soul.
He can have some really deep lines sometimes. Like one of my absolute favorites from Scruffy is life and death is but a seamless continuum.
Yep. My all-time favorite has got to be the wash bucket. It's like, oh, we'd be happy for a while, but eventually it would wear off. Now go before I beg you to stay.
I'm just a janitor and you're
A wash bucket.
Or I think
janitorial equipment.
Mine is, why do you have shares in this company? Scruffy believes in this company.
He does.
Your turn, Ellen.
You know what they say, still waters run deep, right?
Yeah.
Ellen, what's your Scruffalicious line?
My Scruffalicious line. I can never remember a single fucking line from this show. I think we all know this.
I'm Scruffy.
I like Scruffalicious, though.
I've written
But it's too Scruffalicious for you, baby.
I was thinking Fergalicious. Scruffalicious.
whatever you say, Mon, which is a response that Hermes has at the beginning of the second one, the 8-bit one, and I can't remember what he's saying to, but it's like the perfect like cut down for whoever's speaking.
Oh, because Bender's like, bite my shiny metal ass, but bite spelt with a Y.
Oh, yeah, he informs him, and he's like, yeah, okay, whatever you want.
Cool story, dude.
Yeah, that one tickled me too.
So this is where I think things are going to get interesting. What I'm going to do right now is we are going to put this down to the final vote of Season 6. Now, the episode that has been on the top of the charts for the last probably month or so now is All the President's Heads. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
That's correct.
Good. Questioning myself here.
No.
All the President's Heads. And it is going up against this episode, which is Reincarnation.
A lot of R's to roll there.
Lot of fucking R's to roll. Let's start a voting.
Oh.
Are these boys involved?
Yeah, of course. It's 5. There's no way that we can.
Yeah,
we can
have
fuck
they
up.
watched? Have you watched All the President's Heads?
You guys have. haven't
Remind me? I mean, I'm sure I have, but just it's probably been a while.
So All the President's Heads, they go to the Head Museum because
Is this where they travel back in time?
you? Yes.
and then they end up
Yes.
drinking head juice, and that sends them
Yeah.
back in time.
And
And
bend
then
a bit of poop any, yeah.
they accidentally fuck up the ride of Paul Revere, and so
Stupid for hit heads.
and so
That's
the
how we draw S's.
so the English succeed in invading America.
And the invention of the Franklinator, yeah.
Yes, the invention of the Franklinator, and the last kind of third or 10 minutes of the episode is in like a fantasy British version of New York in the future.
I don't think BT knows the episode.
Yes.
Although, I have a question. Elliot, you clearly know this. How are you fucking better at our podcast than we are? That's quite offensive.
Okay,
And
I can
cut
actually
off.
field that one. Ellen, what did you do today? While you were doing that, Elliot was watching TV.
Well, how about
Or
you
listening
guys?
to a podcast about a
Yeah.
TV show that
About
I
While you
watch.
were out wasting your life, he was focused like a laser beam on one thing: television. He's like Kenneth Parcell and that guy who says stamps.com rolled into one.
Well, do you guys want to hit it off then? Do you want to give a little vote there?
Oh, fuck. I really like this episode a lot.
Man, I'm with All President's Heads. I mean, this is a great episode. It's fantastic. But that one is amazing.
Yeah.
And I've said, mind you, I haven't seen them, I haven't seen All the President's Heads for a while, but even just the memory of that kills me. I mean, there's so many quick, great jokes. This one's full of them too, but I think it's not necessarily easier, but it's a very different format. And I think it's maybe because they can pour so many jokes into something they've never done before. They've got a new format they can play with. They got all these jokes lined up. They're all obviously massive nerds, so doing 8-bit or doing the old animation style. That's all something they can laser focus. I said that twice. Into one thing and pour everything into those little segments, and then that's it. Whereas All the President's Heads is it's Futurama's normal, but they've had to find a new hilarious way to make a new amazing story, and they did that, and it's better. I did a lot of talking without a lot of thinking right then, but it was all
a lot of breathing.
a lot of emotionally based, and a lot of trying to swallow my own spit before it fell out of my face.
You made a very good point.
I can
though.
multitask.
You sounded fine. You were very concise and
Yeah.
eloquent. So
Yeah.
don't doubt yourself.
Elliot?
Once again, I have fooled these humans.
Yeah, look, I am going to go all the president's heads as well, but it's only by a hair because I think it's difficult to put one of these sort of fantasy anthology episodes ahead of, a regular episode, even though in all the president's heads, you could argue that they're kind of doing that, what if Futurama but British, And I still love Zoidberg talking about how he's going to put on a little docky walk.
Dial up the beeve.
Yeah. So all the president's heads, but I still don't think that one was as good as Law and Oracle.
Controversial but powerful.
Ellen is having like
Like a crisis.
a total crisis. Her face is distraught.
I'm thinking.
Okay, while she's thinking, I'm going to put
Don't
in...
think, Ellen. Feel.
I'm going to put in
God.
a dissenting vote. I totally agree with the idea that it feels slightly odd to put like an anthology kind of vignette episode above, but this is that format pretty much perfected. No wasted time, tons of great jokes, and using the styles that you're rolling into, not just as a gimmick, but actually to inform the comedy and kind of inform the way the plot unfolds as well. Very clever, lots of heart, lots of creativity. So for me, this is going to be, again, by a hair, just edge out the other one, just for the edge out all the president's heads, just for the kind of madcap fun of this one. I'm just a sucker.
The sheer creativity on this one is amazing.
Yeah, I'm also just a big sucker for really, really silly things, and this kind of just pushes the button for me.
I'm also going to be chucking one on the board for Reincarnation. I'm going to bring up the triangle of Sean voting for future. I forget what it's called.
It's the Holy Trinity of Futurama.
The Holy Trinity of Futurama.
Of all TV, really.
Yes, which is you should have...
All comedy TV.
All comedy TV you should have. For the Futurama, I say it should have the comedy, it should have the sci-fi aspect, and it should have the heart. And if any one of them fails, then the other two have to kind of prop it up. Like, you've got it all in balance. And while this episode doesn't necessarily have the heart, and I'd say that All the President's Heads probably fits in that same boat there.
It doesn't have a lot, yeah.
It has the comedy in fucking spades, and the sci-fi premise is prevalent throughout all three of them. It sets a cracking pace. It is visually probably one of the most beautiful episodes of Futurama so far, and it really kind of exemplifies for me why season 6 and the second run is fucking great. And like, this is them going, hey, we have like a whole new lease on life, and we can fuck with Futurama. So let's do that. Like, let's actually play around with what Futurama is. And like, while I was also kind of a bit sad, you didn't do Anthology of Interest 3, there's a reason, because they allowed themselves to go, let's basically Treehouse of Horror this shit. Let's see what we can kind of... How do you push something past Futurama? Like, how do you... It's already set in the year 3000 and it's crazy and it's sci-fi. How do you push past that? Well, you make it different styles.
Make it anime.
And it was just fun. And I threw my book away. And that's the mark of a good episode. So Reincarnation for me as well. Ellen?
Deciding vote.
All right. Wow. Love that the deciding vote has been put onto me. So I'm just going to talk aloud for a bit because I still haven't quite decided. And no one wants to hear just seconds of me sweating. So both of these are, as we've talked about in the triangle, extremely fun. And they both have a sci-fi premise. None of them really have the heart factor, but they do the characters quite well. Like, in no instance did I feel like, particularly in All the President's Heads, the characters were just so spot on. Like Fry having a night job for no fucking reason to afford coffee to do his night job. Great. Amazing. It was a perfect gag. The design in both is impeccable. You've got all the different styles to play with, but in All the President's Heads, you've got all the different time periods.
Yeah, just listing features of the two episodes.
Yeah, like, do you want to fuck off?
Not really, no. I'm
Tell us which one wins, and then we'll fuck off.
pretty happy right here watching you squirm, actually.
Okay, it's quite painful, but I'm probably going to go with all the president's heads. Just because
I'm going to mute Ellen here. No,
it's really hard. It's really hard, honestly, but I feel like all the president's heads is, and it's hard because it's not an anthology episode. It's not it's not a silliness to the wall. Let's go for it. Let's turn up the dial to 11. It's still a normal, in quotation marks, episode of Futurama, but I feel like the characters are just so spot on, and the scenario they've put them in just means they're able to roll with it so seamlessly, and all the jokes are just so effortlessly and at the same time jam-packed and very well researched.
Weirdly, the two episodes have a lot in common.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
their strengths,
But I mean, honestly, it came down to, like, this seems petty, but that pregnancy joke.
Oh, yeah,
I was like,
fine.
that seems very mean-spirited. That seems very manipulative, and I don't like... That's not the Fry that I conjure in my mind.
Well, it's 1920s for us.
Sure. I see him as a bit naive and stupid and lazy, but...
and hot now.
All right, okay, but we said that when he was a superhero too, so...
Different Fry.
It turns out when he just wears a different outfit, he can be quite hot. Yeah, I was like, that doesn't gel with my characterization of Fry. And
Not my Fry.
yeah, and I suppose...
I mean, regardless of context, it does feel icky.
Yeah. And that was honestly the one thing that just stuck in my craw, and, like, otherwise it would have been... I don't know. I just would have sat here and just walked out, I guess. Been like, sorry, can't do it.
Nah.
Flip going.
So, guys, what that means is that All the President's Heads is now your Season 6 winner.
Woo!
So, Stephen,
Hooray.
Josh, you won.
You did it.
For now.
Your prize is in the mail.
For now. Let's get on to a little bit of a voice.
I have an idea.
What's your idea?
I may be the most humble member.
Well, yeah, I was going to say we should do all the not
President's
words
heads.
but anime SFX noise, like huh?
BT, I'm gonna tell you something, and you have to react accordingly.
Okay. Let me just get my actor face on. Okay.
BT,
The background behind me is swirling. Let's go.
BT, I must let you know that you are in fact my brother.
Ah!
It was good. I liked it a lot.
Are we doing this for all of them?
Yeah, do you want me to get
Set
one?
us up, yeah.
Okay. Elliot, you may have killed me once, but now you must kill me again.
It is a sacrifice I am willing to make.
Ellen, your fashion sense is in fact very bad.
He's losing it.
Philly, you think you are silly, but in fact, you are not.
Is someone going to do Sean?
Sean, the king has returned.
Except by this point, his mouth has stopped moving. Sean-san.
Sean-san. There we go. We are perfect.
Yeah,
We are
nailed it.
perfect in every way.
Oh my god. Sean Pie?
Notice me, Sean Pie.
We must make shirts. It is imperative.
Power friends,
Impossible.
go!
It will be done. So, guys,
Yes.
girls,
I have one more voice I want to do.
Elliot, yes.
From the Colorama in glorious black and white. By the way, fucking excellent joke. Oh, gee whiz and golly jeepers, I've got one gigantic peeper, sassafras and banana oil. I'm a beautiful purple head goyle.
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 Don't boot my Betty. Very cute.
Watch it, you stumble bums.
I just love this episode
It
so
was great.
much. Hey, Elliot, BT,
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
first of all, thanks so much for coming on board,
Thanks,
you
guys.
jolly whackers. Love you.
You sassafrasses?
But would you
We
like
are
to
humbled.
Would you like to spruik anything for the masses and where we can find you and what we can find you doing?
Yeah, I host a podcast called the Simpsons Index. BT is my co-host on that. And so for those that were unfamiliar, we watch and review 3 episodes of The Simpsons at a time, but each episode comes from a different decade. We like to use this format to sort of compare, what made the classic era so great and what isn't really working about the show at the moment. You can get that at the simpsonsindex.com, at Simpsons Index on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Yeah, and I host a podcast with Elliot called Thrones of Game, where we watch Game of Thrones backwards. I've watched the entire series from beginning to end, and Elliot has never seen an episode until we started watching it backwards.
You're a maniac. You're an absolute maniac.
Nutters.
It's a lot of fun.
I do wish that you would watch them in reverse, though, like
we would if we could.
like Missy Elliott.
Yes,
reverse it.
How far are you into Thrones of Game so far?
We just finished season 8, so that's our season 1.
Wow. How are you doing, Elliot?
I think I understand why people were so disappointed, but, as objective art, it's fine.
Also, the more we watch, the more boobies show up, so...
Yes.
That's
Oh, my
true.
God. For as much nudity as I was promised in this show, I get why season 8 was so disappointing.
Tail end of season 8 has very little tail.
I mean, I don't want to give
Right.
too many spoilers, but doesn't it end up being the story of how Bran launches himself into a tower to cure
Yeah, I mean,
cure
it's a
his
great story
paralysis?
about dragons putting things back together and Ned Stark getting his head back.
It's like the headless horseman of Sleepy Hollow, except Ned Stark.
Don't launch yourself into towers, please. Or do, really?
Jamie Lannister's such a nice guy. He helped Bran he pulled him away from the tower.
Tower's Edge, yeah. What a great guy.
He's such a nice heart guy, they gave him his hand back.
Oh, man.
Amazing.
That's
lovely.
Also, by the way, does Game of Thrones have, much... We know that its booby quota is quite high. Does it have penis quota?
There's dong.
There was
Dong quota?
It's not that much.
I
Dong.
swear it was maybe season
very
2
rare.
or season 3, and we got maybe 2 dongs.
2 dongs.
And the world rejoiced, and we were finally, it's tipping the scales, and then it just didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Have
definitely
any more
skewed, but,
So is most media, but whatever.
yeah.
So is my dong.
Oh, I don't want my dong skewed.
I mean,
What
it depends how
happened?
you're measuring things, because if we're going to treat male and female nipples the same, then I'd say we pretty much even out. If not, there are more male nipples, so...
Yeah.
Yes, but
we
don't
actually
you
had
know-
this funny thing where the season 8 opener that we watched, Foxtel was just being an absolute bitch that night. It was just continuously pausing and buffering and stuff. And our internet was fine. It was totally on Foxtel. But the
Foxtel.
funny thing is, it's the first scene where there's finally been nudity in the show, and it kept pausing on,
Braun.
what? Huh?
Braun.
Yeah. Just some of the ugliest male-presenting nipples that you could have a show pause on.
Yes, but don't you know that female nipples are inherently sexual?
Yes. I mean, that's
What?
preposterous.
We change that attitude here and now.
Oh, and very quickly, why I'm thinking about it, because I think we've got a few minutes left. We actually have a few... would you guys like to get off the Simpsons couch and join me on Corrections couch? Because there's a
Sure.
few things that, true to form, both Ellen and myself have gotten wrong.
Yikes.
Which
Not me, though.
No, true to form, Phil has got nothing wrong.
Whatever.
Nicely done, Phil.
So as far as the Futurama Fortunes episode that is coming up, I said, and I'm sorry to you listeners, that Overclockwise was next. It is not. It's the episode you're listening to right now. We recorded them out of order, so I lied to you.
Right, yeah.
By
you
now,
not.
it's kind of a moot point because Overclockwise came out last week.
Yeah, but I have to be
Okay,
true.
sure. Yeah.
You got to set things straight.
Yeah.
Also, the other thing that I got wrong was I said that Fry, so he was his new best friend, the one that was in the episode of, I think it was Overclockwise.
Wasn't it
or the one
Randy?
before. Randy. I said that Randy was his housemate. I misspoke. I meant that he was in the same apartment complex and I roommates.
Neighbor is what they call it. Yeah.
Neighbor. And Ellen,
Yeah.
you were absolutely adamant that when Leela comes back and she's wearing that vest in her new job, you said that she was wearing her pants. She wasn't. She was indeed wearing a skirt.
Well,
Yeah.
hang on.
Overclockwise.
When was this even?
Overclockwise, when she's now a real
Space real
A
estate.
real estate agent.
and she had her
ugly orange blazer.
and you said she was also wearing her pants. She wasn't. She was wearing her skirt.
Okay,
a
but
new
I
skirt.
did say that it was blue, right?
It
was navy and not black.
Mapes.
Okay, anyway.
I don't know. We'll have to go back with a fine tooth
The
comb.
point was the navy and the orange terrible.
Look, corrections couch is objective. It just was wrong. It just was wrong.
That is fine. You could, that point still stands.
But not to mention all that you got wrong in the actual Filmly Fortunes trivia
Oh,
episode.
God.
We don't need to talk about that.
God. Oh, so you've already listened?
I've listened to about half of it. Man, that guy was brutal.
Oh, yeah.
Obscure ass fucking questions asking you to decipher binary and shit. Like,
Please,
come on.
please watch Filmily Fortunes. It's all that and it's glorious.
Also, those questions are so tantalizingly vague.
Yeah.
And you ask for clarification. You go,
know.
do you mean, you could say deaths overall, or do you mean character deaths? And he'll just be like,
It's exactly what I
that's
said
the
it was.
question. And
Yes.
you'll be like, fuck!
Yeah, the one that's just on film trivia is absolutely brutal. You get 2 questions an episode correct.
Yeah, it's a very low. It's like a soccer game. It's a very low score.
Oh, yeah. It gives you a
Extremely
massive
low scoring.
stress headache recording those.
Someone won, no spoilers, but someone won by a smidgen.
Yeah, literally a smidgen of a point.
Yeah.
That's right. And
Should we talk about our show?
yeah, absolutely.
Nah.
So, guys, first of all, if you would like to get in contact with us, you can do so by emailing us at babybeardmedia@gmail.com.
Find us on the socials as well. We got the Facebook, we got the Twitter, and I reckon Ellen will tell you all about Instagram.
Oh, Instagram? Is that where you take pictures and put them up in a box?
You asked for
Sure
this.
is, sure is, darling.
Yeah, so we're on Instagram. It's where we have time lapses of the recordings itself, so you can see us recording while you're listening to the episode. That will be fun. Please interact with us. We have polls. We're also putting up a lot
So
of...
lonely.
We're very lonely. Who wants to be my anime boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever.
Fry, obviously.
Message us on Instagram. I'm up for it. We're also on the A Lot of Green Network. So
Yeah.
that's a place for wonderful Australian podcasts. Our friends One Good Thing are on there, as well as there's a load of various genres. A load of
dick.
No. A load of different podcasts. There's ones about skating. There's ones about video games. You name it, they got it, and they're all Australian. So that's alotofgreen.com.au. Ow.
I've actually just been getting into one of A Lot of Green podcasts, The House of Mario. It's a Nintendo podcast. Very good.
And
Nice.
silly Philly.
Yes, I was going to say on that network, coming up very soon, or in the past, if you're going through our back catalogue, we're coming up to the release of our RPG series.
Hey.
That's going to be called Roll to Cast. And our first season will be a original story set in the world of Cyberpunk 2020 called Going Mainstream. That comes out on July 20th.
8 p.m.
Awesome.
Or did come out on July 20th.
Yeah, get on
if
it.
you're listening to this from the future.
And also, if you'd like to come back next week, not only will we be kicking off Season 7 with the bots and the bees, we'll be doing it with one of our friends, as mentioned. The One Good Thing boys shall be joining us.
Oh, joy.
As
Lovely.
requested by Paul Goodman.
Oh, you're going to have so much fun. That episode is so filthy.
Back to the filth.
Maybe we should do something to celebrate.
Oh, let's get some dong and nipple out. There we go. Until...
Bye.
I've been Filthy Sean.
I've been Child Labour Syndicate Ellen.
Feasting on human flesh. I've been Phil.
I've been laid bare BT.
Ooh,
And I'm the Stumblebum Elliot.
so cute.
Dongs and nipples, goodbye.
Really wish
I
you
can't
would.
believe dongs and nipples replace goodbye in the future.
Why didn't you bring your headphones? Oh, that's all right. I will... Here's your Alpheus. No.
He works all day for you.
Oh, I've been recording. Oh, well.
Treat him like a... Wait. ITT.
Oh, I see what they did
Schitt's
there.
Creek. Yeah. It is an amazing
how are you
show.
doing?
It's
I'm
you.
still quite snotty.
Do you need water? Because, like, we're going to be... No, you're fine. How you doing?
I'll
You
live.
can get it before we record.
No, I'll be right.
You sure? Oh, my gosh. Fuck me. Just talk normally for a second.
Talking normally.
Is that your normal voice?
I guess. Yeah.
Wow, you're quite soft.
I
You're
guess
a soft boy.
Hey.
Oh, was that
Phil's not emotionally
Hey.
manipulative.
Hey.
I'm rock hard right now.
Oh, show me.
There you go.
No, thank you.
The listeners don't know any difference. Stop pulling that face.
I watched the...
Don't body shame me.
Billy's Willy.
Body shaming you.
I can feel your
It's
judgment.
not body shame.
Faith and I went to, we went out and had some Korean.
Oh.
And afterwards we went to 48 Flavors because it's
Ooh.
a good place.
Were there 48 flavours?
What's 48
They have
flavours?
at least 48 flavors. It's
it
an ice
ice
cream
cream?
bar.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Here.
And they have a, here?
I've never heard of it.
I never.
Adelaide. Yeah, it's on Goodger Street.
Well, that sounds about
They
right.
have lots of good dairy-free ice cream as well. Excellent. And sorbets. And,
Be free.
And stuff. But they have a they have.
Did
they
you
have-
like that? Sorry, go.
Sean's very
Bah,
chaotic.
bah.
Has anyone been to Sir Cafe? There's a few. There's one on
Sir
Hindley
Cafe?
Street, and there's... What is up? You're about a 10? I need you down to a 4, please.
Oh, it's coming from you.
When I master you, I have to cut the living shit out of your high end because you're so sibilant. Did you know how sibilant you are?
I was trying to
I
find
never
it.
noticed until
For
I
a
started
second, I thought
doing
you
it.
I thought in the
I
context,
just cut the
when
shit
I
out of
when I
your-
dom you, when I
Yeah.
master you, I
thought this
cut
was
that
a-
shit out.
I thought this was a rare...
You're the Sibyllus. You can drive pauses through your trucks. There you go.
Yes.
And I like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, and I like and I
I like a lot.
That's our first baby beard shirt. Dongs and
Dogs
nipples.
and nipples. I still think it
There
should be
are
noticed.
about 8 first shirts.
Dongs and nipples. Goodbye.
I still want Notice Me Sean Pie. That will be fucking great. We'll just have to have an anime version of you.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
What do we reckon, fellas?
Well, we've got like
I'd
Futurama
buy it.
versions of us.
Would you buy it?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. All right. It's
Good.
one sale.
That's $50, BT.
Wait.
Done. Who do I wire to?
Me.
He's trying to jam a 50 into the computer. Is
Won't
that-
fit. Does this go on the USB port of the disk drive?
But we also noticed because BTs are in Death Stranding apparently as well, aren't they?
I'm popular.
Oh, God. I'm so excited for that fucking weird,
So it's all Cyberpunk 27.
weird
7 for me,
ass fucking experience that's going to be.
Yeah.
Hideo
Oh, yeah.
Kojima just like lovingly rendering Mads Mikkelsen.
And free of Konami to just do whatever the
Oh my
fucking
god,
crazy shit he
metaphors
wants.
crammed out the wazoo.
Yeah.
Like-
Imagine everything we've seen so far has been Kojima on a leash. This is him with no one holding that leash.
There's a German Futurama podcast, which is the best because
We have no idea about the quality because
No.
it's in German.
But every 20 words or so, they'll say Fry or Futurama or something in English.
Take my
Zoidberg.
Deutschmarks, please.
Der Futurama.
Shooten Mausen.
Why isn't und Fry und Lila together?
I was going to do a French accent. I have a question. So I did a princess gig on the weekend. Must you?
Are you going to ask Elliot something about his clowning past?
Oh no.
Oh, no.